Good morning, BNI entrepreneurs and visitors. For this week's education moment, our illustrious Ken Kirkpatrick suggested that I play you a video clip from Michael Jr., who is a comedian, about the benefits of giving rather than getting. Let's have a look.
So now I'm in the club, and I'm performing there. This was probably like 7, 8 years ago. And I'm headlining at the club, and right before I get on stage, I had a change in mindset about comedy. Most of the time when a comedian gets on stage, he wants to get laughs from people. And I felt a shift take place. Instead of going up there to get laughs from people, I felt like I was supposed to give them an opportunity to laugh. I did a little prayer, and I clearly felt like I was supposed to give an opportunity to laugh. This change everything, because now I'm not looking to take, I'm simply looking for an opportunity to give. This is why we now go to the homeless shelters and all these places. In fact, that very night when I leave the stage, I'm outside, people want autographs, we're hanging out, taking pictures, and I look across the street and I saw a homeless guy. I had never seen a homeless guy outside this club before, ever. But that doesn't mean he wasn't there before. That just means before, my mindset was to get laughs from people, so why would I even notice them? But now I changed my mindset and I see this homeless guy and I have the thought, what about him? How could I give him an opportunity to laugh? And that's when we started doing homeless shelters and prisons and making laughter commonplace in other non-common places. So now as a result of doing that, we went to this one place, we went to Montrose, Colorado. It's a facility for children who are being abused by their parents. And I'm hearing all of these stories, and this grandmother tells about her grandson who was so afraid of his mom because he's on drugs. She's been abusing him, and one of the things she's been doing is she's been pulling out his toenails. So I hear this story, and they bring all these kids inside, and Spider-Man is sitting right up. This little boy is so afraid of his mom, everywhere he goes, he wears a Spider-Man costume. He's sitting right up front at the show. If my mindset was still to get laughs from people, there's no way I would have been able to do the show. But my mindset changed, so now I have to do the show. So I get up on stage and people start laughing slowly but surely. 20 minutes in it, I hear a voice come from right here. And the voice says, "My name is Ronan." And this little boy pulls off his mask and introduces himself to me. In a way, and I can't even tell you what it meant to me. And he started talking to me for like 9 minutes like I wasn't doing a comedy show at the time. But it was all because I made this shift. I made this change, and I said simply, instead of trying to get, I'm going to see if there's an opportunity to give. If you can make this adjustment, it will change your life for the good. If you're a mechanic, you may think you get paid to fix vehicles, but if you can make this shift, you will recognize you help people reach their desired destination. That will put your alarm clock out of business. My senses are, there's a lot of people out there still hitting the snooze button. Before I bounce means to vacate the premises. I'd like to explain to you how life works, at least from a comedian's perspective. First, there's a setup, and then there's a punchline. Your setup is your talents, your resources, and your opportunities. And most of the time, we use our setup to ensure that the people around us are moving in a direction that serves us, which means the punchline occurs when you change that direction in a way they're not expecting. You actually use your setup for other people. The results are the same, yet multiplied. Revelation, fulfillment, and joy. But it's not just for the one receiving your punchline. It is absolutely for you as you deliver the punchline. In fact, if I ask the question to everyone here, everyone watching, if I ask you this question, how many people here know what your setup is? Every one of you would be able to tell me. Because your setup is the fact that you have a house, a car, you've been married, you went to school. Your setup is about what you've received. But what if I ask the question, what is your punchline? Because your punchline is about what you're called to deliver. And if you only know your setup and not your punchline, you'll make the mistake of trying to add more setup. If I could just get another degree, if I could just get married, if I could just lose weight. But what you really need is to know your punchline. What about your story? You've been living it your entire life, and if all you know is the setup and not the punchline, you are living in an uncomfortable place. And please be clear, just like when I had a hard time reading as a child, your setbacks are part of your setup so you can deliver the punchline you're called to deliver. Much like a slingshot, the further you've been set back, the further you're going to reach. But what are you going to aim for? Everyone has a setup, and everyone has a punchline. You need to find your punchline and deliver it. I'm Michael Jr. I love you. Thank you, guys. Oh, you guys are awesome. Standing ovation. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you.
Well, again, I hope you found that beneficial, and have an awesome day and an awesome rest of your week.